It's not a sign of weakness to ask for help. It is a sign of strength.
CTF is critical. Their mission is to secure the resources to support evidence-based programs across our great state to prevent child maltreatment.
Primary prevention is really the key to the prevention of child maltreatment. So you want to catch it before it happens.
We provide education, support, and stability to families before they have problems.
Education really empowers you. If we know better, we do better. You get this little baby, you know nothing. It is so intimidating and scary, even for the most educated. And so I go into Women's and Children's Hospital, and I talk to new moms and dads.
We go in and talk to you about safe sleep practices, SIDS, and all of those things that you need to know as a new parent.
We talk with them about the science behind why a baby cries, and that's their way of communicating. It's not a personal attack on you. It's just kind of the only tool they have to let you know what's going on. And these are some tools that might help you with calming them down. A lot of people don't realize that 80% of their child's brains develop by the time they're 2 years old. And so if you really want your child to be able to meet their fullest potential, they need that nurturing, loving home.
Those people now are connected with me. They're transitioning into my parent class. They're calling me and saying, hey, look, thank you, I want to know more. Our parenting classes focus on guidance and discipline, basic safety, positive reinforcement, appropriate consequences, whether they're positive and negative, and how important it is for us to guide them.
The Alabama Department of Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention, under Ms. Longshore's leadership, is really nationally known for its research and evaluation efforts. Among the programs, each type of program all have distinct sets of objectives and goals. In all areas, there were statistically significant improvements in all those target goal areas, and there has been every year that we've done the evaluation.
Our parent education support programs, they're really going to concentrate on those 5 protective factors: knowledge of parenting and child development, parental resistance, concrete support in times of need, social connections, and social and emotional competence of children. But when you think about protecting children and again strengthening families, one of the best ways to do that is home visiting.
When a family support specialist goes out to visit a family, they spend time getting to know what their needs are, creating an individualized plan, setting goals with the family, and helping them to map out steps to get there, and then we're there to support them along the way. Also to help them to increase their social connections, because we know that the more people that are in those parents' corner, the less likely the risk of child abuse and neglect. We also focus on self-care of the parents. We do self-care assessments and talk with them about good practice and strategies that they can use to take care of themselves along with taking care of their children.
Parenting a child can be difficult, right? It's a 24-hour-a-day job, and so you add on any special need. Research indicates that children with special needs are at increased risk for abuse and neglect.
So that respite program was formed so that the parents could choose who's going to care or watch the child with special needs while they go and do something as simple as maybe run an errand, but they know their child is with someone they trust.
Through the funding from CTF, we're able to go the extra mile and actually provide the support that's needed. We can educate parents, but to be able to provide the funding so they can actually take the break has been tremendous. So Hearts not only provides respite, but also provides parent support and education. Sometimes families with special needs feel isolated or overwhelmed, and so we try to plan activities to bring families with similar situations together. It's important to start building those social connections, and also by planning these activities, we're educating families about resources in the communities and opportunities that are available.
And then we have the Fatherhood Project, which I love.
Any social issue that you look at, they have something what's called the father factor. If it's drugs, alcohol, education, if it's behavior, if it's finances. An involved father has a positive influence and an absent father has a negative influence on all the statistics.
Children's Trust Fund has actually allowed us to strengthen families again, you know, when our men lost hope.
We want them to obviously get life skills, but educational skills, GED if they don't have one. We want to reconnect them with their children, and we want the children to be in their lives and to know their dad.
We work with fathers if they're getting out of jail or working through the HR system, custody. The situation can be different for anybody, so we do parenting skills, training with interview processing. This is what I live and breathe to do, to help men not struggle as much as I did. I was a single father. I worked 3 or 4 jobs. I was actually homeless for 3 months. And so a lady found me and she said, hey, did you know about this program? I was like, well, I didn't know that exists for a dad like me. When I came on this job, it allowed me to not only live through it, but also change lives. My children saw me at the worst, and they still love me. And I want to let our fathers that if they feel the same as I did, your children still love you. They just don't want you to give up.
Our inclination as a society is to react once crisis has occurred, and Children's Trust Fund money allows us to really get in there before and strengthen those families and build in those protective factors that are proven to prevent child abuse.
And after school is important because, especially with those middle school students, the hours of 3 to 6 are when they could be tempted to get in trouble, to be quite honest. So we don't want that to happen. We want them engaged, learning, and safe.
We go into the schools and we teach children about anger management, problem solving, emotional management. It is really important because of the ACE scores. We consider adverse childhood experiences that children may go through, that they need these skills and these strategies before they can go and sit down and learn. We teach about having a trusted triangle. 3 people that you can trust. This mother said that her son came home and said that his grandparents was part of his trusted triangle, and he wanted to call them and let them know. I'm getting chills now just thinking about that. That went home.
One caring adult can be a game changer in a child's life, especially if they've had traumatic experiences. Helping everyone thrive and supporting our families is a key piece of our one-on-one mentoring relationships. Our entire model is evidence-based, from the screening, the training that the family receives, the bigs receive, the children receive around their personal safety. We come from a strength-based focus, so the sooner and the younger we begin interjecting those positive influences, giving them those coping skills, building the strengths to fight against some of those risk factors, giving them the protective factors, the greater the impact to their trajectory. When people ask me, what do you need more? Volunteers, money, it's always funding. The funding we receive directly determines the number of children that we'll get to serve that year. CTF and their support of us financially investing in what we do is critical.
So the consistent positive effects that we have documented over the last several years now absolutely points to the value of these programs and really calls for expansion of these efforts. And the data tell us these programs are very valuable and very worthwhile. Prevention programming is much, much less expensive than the intervention services that have to occur once there has been an incidence of child maltreatment.
It's so much easier for us to prevent child abuse than deal with it after the fact. We have got to address things before they happen.
With additional funds, we could take programs like you're hearing about today and be able to expand those into every county all over the state. Every family in Alabama would have access to good quality prevention services through Children's Trust Fund.
Children do better when their families are healthy, and families do better when they have thriving, supportive communities. We do better when we do better.